if you are new here, my name is Savannah, and I am also VP of Mortgage Lending here at A&N Mortgage. I've been here just over 5 years, and I absolutely love what I do. I have actually built my business mainly on social media. That's how I've met a lot of the connections that refer me business, and also just continue to grow my sphere. So I'm super excited to learn from them, and also hopefully pitch in some things that have helped me grow my business as well. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys take it away with introducing yourself. So tell us a little bit about why you started in real estate, where do you work, are you on a team, and brag a little bit about what makes you a great realtor.
Perfect. I'll let me start. So my name is Daisy Mazariegos. I've been in the real estate business for 7 years now. The reason I got into real estate is because my family immigrated here from Guatemala with absolutely nothing. And I saw firsthand how they were able to build generational wealth through real estate. So that's what motivates me to help others do the same. But I know we're here to talk about social media. So when I first started, I was a leasing agent, and then I got my license to become a realtor. At that time, TikTok, it was more so about like people going on there to like do like the silly dances and the trends. But I did know of someone in my office who was starting to get leads from social media. So I was like, if she can do it, I could probably figure out how to do it. So I remember I shared that ambition with somebody and they were like, oh no, Daisy, like that only happens out of pure luck. So I think because of that, that kind of like built, like that kind of like lit a fire within me. And like, I just wanted to prove them wrong. And that following year, I grew a 6-figure business all from social media. And like till this day, majority of my clients come from social media.
I remember the first time I met Daisy and she told me how many leads she gets a month from her TikTok, and I was like, what? Like, I'm so excited to hear more about it, and it's just really impressive. So we're really excited to have you. All right, Tommy. Oh, ladies first, sorry.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Loverty. I have been in real estate for 12 very long years. I am with Baird & Warner right now, or I'm with Baird & Warner, I should say. Sounded bad. Delete that. I'm a little nervous, actually, if I'm being honest. I used to speak on panels quite a bit, and I've gotten away from it. So this is a good personal challenge for me. So thank you for being here. My business, in relation to social media, is probably different than my other two very esteemed colleagues here. And I use it highly to love on my people. And I'm excited to share some of those ways with you today and take you through what I do, you know, to get me where I am today. I'm a solo broker. I have a very big business, which I'm feel blessed to share with you. And I have support in different areas of my business in areas that people can do better than me at this point.
Thank you.
My name is Tommy Choi. I've been in this industry 2 decades now. 2 decades, long time. Super grateful for it. By the way, before, I want to give a shout out to Savannah. Thank her for setting this up and creating this great event. Grateful to be here with our 3 of you. Our team, we have a team, Weinberg Choi Residential. Obviously, I'm the Choi. I could be the Weinberg. I'm gonna be my Josh. He's much shorter. We've been doing this since day one together. We sold as a team over $1 billion of real estate. We support over 2,000 clients in their homeownership journey. And Daisy and I actually, we have a very similar story on behind why. You know, I'm first generation here. My family immigrated from South Korea to the north side of the city, Irving Park and Berthoud, or Lincoln and Berthoud, in the 70s. And a big reason why I'm into real estate is my grandfather. You know, a big reason, like many immigrants, they come to this country because they want opportunity, seek out opportunity. But a big chunk of that opportunity for my grandfather was he wanted to own his own home one day, but not from like the practical sense of having just a roof over his head. For him, it was solely pride, right? He wanted to put a stake in the ground, say that this piece of Chicago, this piece of America was his because he worked his butt off to achieve it. And at the very young age, because he would watch me, especially during the summers, he would always remind me of that. He would always be like, hey, don't get it twisted. Just because you were born here doesn't mean home ownership is a guarantee or it's a right. it's a privilege that you'd work hard to achieve or work even harder to maintain. And I always just thought he was old and senile, but Beardo, like, okay, thanks for telling me that. I don't even know what that means, but I realized, right, he was planting seeds, right? That's why we had to be so intentional and purposeful in the words we choose to put out into the universe. And when I was at that corporate crossroads, those seeds started to sprout, and there was a huge spotlight on real estate. I had just bought my first condo from an agent. She was called a banker, Anvo Liu. She's now in San Francisco, killing the game out there. She inspired me, got licensed. Josh was working at Pulte Homes, selling new construction straight out of college. We started our team, and that's my big, not to get all Simon Sinek on you, but that's my big why. That's just how I got here today, right? The real estate.
Can I intervene here? I didn't share why and how I got into real estate, so I would like to share that with you. I was in corporate America for 10 long years, doing meetings and events, working very hard, missing most things on the weekend because I was traveling to set up shows and trade shows and all these things. And I decided I needed a life change. So I went back to school after 10 years working to get a master's degree in counseling. And instead of becoming a counselor, I got my real estate license just for fun. That was in 2013. I was Chicago Rookie of the Year in 2013 because I am that type of person that, thank you, that just hits the ground running. And so that is how I am here today and why I am here today. I never thought about doing this. I don't have family inspiration necessarily. It just crossed my path and truly changed my life's direction completely. So
I'm really excited about the variety of people up here because I think you all come from such different places. You're at different stages in your careers. You have a variety of different amounts of followers across different platforms, and I hope that it can speak to everybody in the crowd as much as possible. So if you've never been to Power Hour, this is kind of how we structure it. We break it into different topics. Today there's just gonna be 2. Thank you to everyone who submitted questions on Eventbrite because that's how we kind of put together the topics and also the questions. So we really appreciate that. I am gonna ask you guys to keep it as close to 1-minute responses as possible because we have a food truck waiting outside and I'm sure everyone's very excited. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into topic 1, which is social media strategy. This one's kind of open to anyone who wants to answer. So what are the main reasons that you're using social media for, and what are your expectations of what you're going to get out of your social media posts?
I think for me, and I think most people can relate to this, I use it more so to like build a community. But 3 things that I focus on whenever I want to share something or post something is I'm trying to accomplish 3 things. For me, it's connection, building connections with people, building trust, and then overall just like building my brand. Because when you think about social media, like it happened today, I met someone and they're like, oh, we've never met, but I already know you already. It's like they're kind of like interviewing you organically without them even realizing it. So it's a way to like build that relationship to get people to like really get to know like what makes me me.
Yeah, that's great.
I think Daisy nailed it, right? Great marketing makes sales softer. Does that make sense? Great marketing makes sales softer. And why that is because marketing in today, I mean, it's always meant this, but especially today in 2025, marketing is being seen before and after you're known, liked, and trusted. Okay, what that means is people seeing who I am before they realize they have a need to work with me, right? That's where the familiarity and the trust is built, like what Daisy said, and you can have that community around your brand. That's what makes sales softer, right? Because great social media presence, content marketing, I always tell people, it's like lead generating. It's like, who's played Uno before? I hope everyone, right? I'm not that old. It's like playing Uno, lead generating with like a full hand of reverse Uno cards, where literally business opportunities come to you. You're not going out there to hunt them, right? So to me, that's what social media is, the easiest and best platform to have that wide reach.
Yeah.
I think similar to what, my 2 colleagues have shared, but also is just the relatability to people on the day-to-day. right? Like I want to be the person that is not, I don't want to share that I have 18 showings today and a deal on the fritz and an appraisal that's, you know, not at value. I want to be easy breezy, beautiful cover girl kind of thing. I want them to be able to call, text, email, whatever at any time of day and know that I, you know, am there to help them, guide them. So it really is a trust piece in my business. And it's a connection piece because I don't only want to be their real estate agent. I want to be considered more than that, right? I'm not saying that they need to be my best friends, but I want them to know that I enjoy time in Wisconsin. I want them to know that I have a dog named Louie. Sorry, I'm talking too much.
No, you're not.
And all of those little pieces are points of connection, right? And they are, we are opening up the door for dialogue and conversation with others when there is something that they can communicate with us outside of just our work, outside of just our industry.
One thing I want to add on to this is something that my main reason that I use social media, it's so multi-purposeful, which is great, but mine is to be top of mind. And I think one thing that I heard last year that changed my perception of how I use social media is if somebody were to come up to a stranger in the grocery store and say, hey, where do you get your nails done? Or where do you get your hair done? I don't remember the exact statistic, but it was like your human brain can only remember two maximum referrals. So you want to be one of the last people that they saw, whether it's on Instagram or on Facebook or whatever. So building that top of mind repetitions on my stories and just being seen as much as possible. And it's free, which is my favorite part about it. So yeah, just wanted to add that too. But next question again, for anyone who wants it, what social media platforms are you consistently using? And do you use different platforms for different purposes?
Okay. So for me, one thing to know about me is I started with TikTok and I still use it till this day, and I recycle my content with TikTok and Instagram. But what I've learned is whenever I want to post something on TikTok, the intention behind it is to reach a larger audience. It's for my videos to try to go viral. So to give you the few examples, like the videos I do on TikTok are very short form, and you like start with a really good hook that's going to grab the attention of the viewer like within seconds. Because think about like what we do, like we're always like doom scrolling on TikTok. Like I do it all the time. So in order to get someone to look at your video and like watch it from start to end, it needs to be short and like super attention grabbing. So that's what I focus on with TikTok. It's more so just reaching a wider audience. And then for Instagram, because what I've noticed over the years is that when somebody follows me on TikTok, more than likely they're going to follow me on Instagram because they want to like get to see more of me. So Instagram, I use it more so as a tool to like deepen and like nurture that relationship. So on Instagram, I'm posting more of like the behind the scenes, like what am I doing? Like my day in the life as a realtor. Like what do I love to do? I love to go grab cocktails. I like to get my hair, like get blow up. So like people see like what makes me me. So I think in summary, TikTok to just reach a wider audience, Instagram, nurture and deepen that relationship.
Have you gotten more cold clients from TikTok or Instagram?
TikTok.
I agree with that statement.
Yeah. And it goes because of the same thing that I just mentioned right now.
Yeah.
You know, like you're reaching a wider audience, but they're only seeing like one video and they're not really getting to like know more about you. Whereas with Instagram, I'm able to do that.
Yeah. You guys want to chime in?
Yeah, I would say there's two channels of content that I focus on, and that's short form video content and short form written content, okay? And so for video, obviously my main platform is Instagram, and I use Instagram to cast a net around new people that don't know me yet, right? So that I'm looking for kind of like newer cold leads in that way. And then the short form written content, which don't sleep on short form written content. It is, I'm telling you, it is goal for retention. It's a great way to close the back door so your past clients in your database, next time you open Facebook, they're not holding keys, with a different real estate agent. It's a great way to build that, what Savannah was talking about, that mind share,
And that I do, I utilize Facebook and LinkedIn. LinkedIn is, I think, one of the biggest slept on platforms. And maybe, I'm like 43 years old. So maybe I feel like my database is like on LinkedIn more or whatnot. But the amount of retention business from database that I get via LinkedIn is just wild. So I would really invest into Honeit copywriting, and that also helps you for if you want to do short form video content, you have to have strong copyright because as Daisy said, your first 3 seconds are the most critical when it comes to short form video content because you have to hook them, whether it's visually or audibly. So that strong copywriting skill, I think, will pay dividends when it comes to generating more business via social media platforms.
I only use Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, of course, but I don't even have a TikTok. Okay. Again, my focus is I'm of the place in my business where it's a bandwidth decision, right? It's like, what can I do with the time in my day and how can I reach people? And for me, Instagram stories that push to my personal Facebook page that encourage conversation, encouraging engagement have been quite successful for me and where I am right here and right now. Now, I think the context part of a post is also very important, and I take a lot of time to consider what words I'm putting out when it's something, on my actual timeline or whatever we call it these days on Instagram. And I've had, conversations surrounding that because I don't just say just closed in 2 days at, whatever percentage of list price. Like that is really boring. That's really basic. And it's not adding value to someone's life. But if you tell the story behind it, right, and you talk about the people and not the numbers and not the sales price, I think you have the potential to connect with people on a human level. And, looking at new leads versus nurturing my existing leads, I would prefer to spend time and energy in the people that know me, trust me, and respect me right now and meeting more of their friends and family than finding new cold leads around Chicagoland. That is just, I think, something that can be misunderstood with social. It's like, yes, new leads are out there, and I'm sure that a lot of people here are kind of looking to understand how can I reach new people, but there's also low-hanging fruit with the people that you've already worked with if you are able to stay in front of them and encourage dialogue with them to the point that someone is quick to always think of you when someone in their network needs to move.
Yeah. All right, this one is kind of like the opposite of what you were just saying, but I want your guys' jaws to drop. Like the first time I asked Daisy this question, how many leads are you getting from your social media on average? Or maybe what's the most you've gotten in a month?
It's hard to say. It's hard to track. But looking at so when I get leads, okay, before I answer that question, when I'm posting stuff, I'm thinking about how can I convert that viewer into a follower. So what I do is I think about what problem can I help them solve. And when I'm thinking about that, I'm thinking about who my targeted audience is. Mm-hmm. So when I first started social media, a lot of the people that I was helping were first-time home buyers. So I'm like, okay, what problem am I trying to solve for first-time home buyers? Okay, that's pretty obvious. They need to know what it takes to buy a home. So then I created a lead magnet where they're able to opt in. And so I created like a free home buying like 101 guide where they can opt in. They get their information. I get their information. And then that basically takes them through like an automated journey. So from that alone, I think I'm able to reach like hundreds. And like if I look at my flow desk now where I have my automated email set up, I have for just like the one segment, because I have different segments dependent on like how I was able to collect their information, because I have different resources that I've created over the years. But I would say like over hundreds. It's hard to say. Like,
yeah.
It's hard to like kind of.
Hundreds is insane. I mean, I think I'm very active on social media and I've probably successfully closed 5 off of like buyers that I didn't know that met me through TikTok or Instagram. So it's really impressive. And I think the question that I had written down was, how are you able to track that? And you kind of were touching on that. So like, what CRM do you use? How are you creating these resources? Things like that.
So resources, ChatGPT, guys, like ChatGPT is like amazing. Like you can tell it like what kind of guide you want to create, what's the information you want to input there. So like I started with like my home buy 101 guide. And then over time, I realized that a lot of the people that I was reaching through social media were out of state buyers, because I started also sharing about like Chicago lifestyle, like where I like to go for my happy hours, the hottest restaurant in the West Loop. And through that, I was not only able to reach like a hyper local audience, but a lot of the people that started reaching out to me were out of state buyers. And because of that, I started posting more content on like the best Chicago neighborhoods, because that's what people that are moving to Chicago, that's what they want to learn about. So then I created a moving to Chicago guide. So it's hard for me to answer exactly like how many leads, but what I do track are the appointments. Because as I had mentioned earlier, when these people opt in and I collect their information, they automatically go through an automated journey that I've created for them. So like every other day, they're getting an email from me. And this is like all behind the scenes, that's automated. So I don't have to do any of this. And my call to action in every email is, if you're thinking about buying or selling, book a call with me. And I have a link right there where they can immediately book a call. And then what I do track is the appointments that I schedule. And that's how I'm able to track, like, and then when I do schedule an appointment with them, I always ask like where it came from. And most of the time it's through TikTok or social media or Instagram.
Yeah, okay. That's awesome. This one's for you, Stephanie.
Oh.
How are you using social media to stay in touch with your existing network? Because I feel like that's kind of your bread and butter.
Yes. I set an alert on all of my past clients or current clients. And so I am aware of when they have shared a new story. And it may not be in the moment, because that might be a little bit stalkerish, really. But at some point before that story expires, and not everyone, of course, but I work to create a meaningful dialogue around that story in a way that, you know, is asking them about that experience, or commenting on the fact that Kaylee's cat recently died, or all of these life events that are going on. I am staying aware of their life in a way that allows me to continue to nurture that relationship, continue to be part of that relationship. And I view it as they are all my voice and my advocate out in the field, because they know that I still care very much for them, and I'm a part of their life in their day-to-day on, you know, simple experiences and life situations, frankly. And I've had such a strong response to that, because I feel like well beyond our closing, our relationships go deep, right? And I have a few experiences just in the last week where that person that I have nurtured well beyond closing has introduced me to someone in their network with this robust introduction that says, you know, you are in great hands. And so I think, bringing it back to the point here, whether your network is small or large, you probably all have an Instagram if you're even here and you're looking to build it. And even if that's 100 people, work to better connect with the depths of their life in a reasonable fashion, of course. Work to care about their life events. Work to share an emotion when something good or bad happens. Because you don't have to be worrying about all these new leads if you're doing a really great job with what's in front of you, right? At any size business. And I really feel passionately about this. I even have a system where when someone actually does connect me in a social media conversation, in a DM, I am incentivizing them in the moment, whether or not I hear that from that person or not. I have a $10 Starbucks gift card going out to them. Stephanie, I was at my child's school and I mentioned your name to Sam. I may never hear from Sam. Thank you so much for thinking of me at your child's school. Thank you for giving my name to Sam. So there's ways that you can use your database right now and really deepen it where leads will follow. And I don't know, for me, that's been a really big part of my growth.
I don't remember exactly where I was when I heard this, but very similar to what you just said. Early on in my career, somebody was giving some type of presentation on social media and said, you need to train the people around you when to think of you and when to refer you, because a lot of times people don't really know, like you want to tell people, hey, if your friend is having a baby, if people are getting married, like they will probably need me at some point. If somebody talks about moving or getting a new job, or like think of me. One thing that you should all steal from me that I stole from someone else is around Christmas. I love to make the little all I want for Christmas is referrals post, because I think it's cute and funny. But even stuff like that, just reminding people like, I want your referrals. Like that is a compliment to me that really helps my business. You'd be surprised at how many people like wouldn't think of that on their own. So I love that though. I think personal sphere is so underrated. It's already people that know you, trust you, love you. So yeah, thank you for sharing. Tommy, how can new agents collaborate to expand their audience and attract new business?
Collaborate.
On social media.
Social media. I think so. My biggest, I've been on this year, like during the pandemic was when TikTok was blowing up. I was obsessed with how like this concept of virality, right? And I went on this journey and really started to invest a lot of time, energy, and resources into guides, resources, mastermind groups. And the biggest thing I learned from that and along my journey to grow your audience and just more so engagement and reach, I always say it's you have to treat social media platforms like an ATM, okay? And you all look young, and ATM is a brick and mortar Venmo. Okay, it's like the Cash App, but it's like a physical place. They still exist. You put your card in, so type in a code. But what I mean is when you go to an ATM, there's two action items, right? You can either make a withdrawal or a deposit. Take money out of your account, put money into your account. The way that social media works is the algorithms that when you post content, Meta looks at that as you're taking from the platform because you're using the platform to put out your ideas. Mm-hmm. If you only make withdrawals, eventually what happens, right? NSF, insufficient funds. There's nothing left to take out. And that's why people get frustrated, like, oh, I only got like 100 views on this, blah, blah, blah. You have to make deposits. And how you make deposits, and this is the greatest way to collaborate with your platforms, you have to engage with other people's content. So it's super important, like what Stephanie does, you have to follow everyone in your database. People are always like, oh, I don't want my follower count to be more than my following count. Like, who gives a crap? Follow everyone. And you have to engage every morning. I'm gonna give you my recipe right now of how I hold myself accountable every week, okay? I do 50 comments a week, right? It's 10 a day, Monday through Friday. I post 5 pieces of content a week. That's 1 a day, Monday through Friday. And I slide into 15 DMs, like proactively. And then I keep going with ongoing DM conversations. So with the 10 pieces of proactive commenting engagement, I want you to think of it as like this. When you're commenting other people's posts, I always say I use this acronym CFA, right? And I like to eat. So you're probably, if you're a foodie, you're probably thinking, well, Chick-fil-A? No. Although that sounds good. Comment for the author or comment for the audience, okay? When you're following and engaging with someone you know already, comment for that author, right? When, I don't know where Emily Pressey is, she was here, she has a 1-year-old daughter. When she posts a cute picture of her like at the park together, everyone else is like commenting, beautiful, cute, gorgeous, awesome, right? I want to comment something thoughtful for the author, right? And I mean it, right? So I'll comment to Emily like, oh my gosh, you're such a great mother, taking time to do all these fun experiences with your daughter. You both will remember this and reflect on it, okay? Literally, I write these novels. What happens though, why I do this is because 1, I mean it. I truly think Emily is a great mother. And 2, amongst the sea of beautiful, cute, gorge, right, all this stuff, she's gonna not only heart my comment, but she's gonna reply back. She's gonna respond back saying, oh my gosh, thanks TC, you're a great father too. And what that does is now we're training the algorithms. Now Meta says, wow, of all these commenters, Emily chose to respond back to Tommy's. When Tommy posts something, let's make sure it's on the top of her feed, right? That's how it works. And so the last one, I know I'm going long, Savannah, but this comment for the audience, that one is important too. You all should be part of Facebook groups. Follow community pages. Like I lived in the Southport Corridor. There's a great account, Southport Community Corridor News and Events. When they post that Doc Martens is coming and opening up in Southport, everyone else, including all the thirsty realtor friends of mine, right, they're writing nostalgia, 90s, grunge, right? I'm commenting, I literally commented this. I'm like, oh, that's great news for anyone that owns real estate in the Southport Corridor. Doc Martens is a national retailer that's only in shopping malls. For them to choose the Southport Corridor to open a brick and mortar means they see value in the community. That means property value should continue to go up. I had like a couple thousand likes on that. And what happens is when you comment for the audience, you're driving traffic back to your page. And I saw my follower count go up, right? And that's why it's important to make sure your page, your profile page is optimized. It should be very clear what you do, right? What your purpose statement is. So then when they see consistent content, that's where the trust is built. And people are like, oh, this is why this dude knows so much about real estate. He's a real estate agent. He's putting all this educational content around real estate and the community. I'm going to follow him, right? So it's super important in order to grow your audience and engagement and collaborate on these platforms. You can't just take and post. You have to give back and make deposit by engaging with other people's content. Does that make sense?
Yes. Love it. I'm going to chime in on collaboration, and I think Tommy might hop back in after I say this because you do a great job at this. So I'm not a realtor, right? But I do work with a lot of realtors, and I see what they're posting. And I've been noticing this new wave of realtors getting smart and collaborating with other small businesses to use their audience as their own. And I started doing that too because I was like, this is genius. So for example, last week I did a vendor market with one of my agents here in the She Shed. We had 12 different small businesses here. There was a lady doing tattoos. There was a matcha girl. There was somebody selling vintage clothing. And I had Christian, our videographer, go around to each of them and do an interview. And what I'm going to do with that is eventually post it and collaborate with the business owners, because what does that do for me? It shows my social media to all of their followers as well. So that's something I've been seeing a lot of realtors. It's a very new wave doing, and Tommy does it with a lot of your food content, which I think is really cool.
You should not only collaborate, but also tag. I don't know, I don't remember where I just posted, but let's just say it's Lincoln Park, right? I'm also tagging the Lincoln Park Chamber of Commerce page, whatever Lincoln Park neighborhood news page, Eater Chicago or Fatulation Chicago, because when people look at your tag posts, they're gonna pop off, right? So you want to be able to leverage that reach and also collaborate with the business. You're helping them out, and you're leveraging both audiences.
Yeah, it's so mutually beneficial. So definitely, like, get your mind working there. If you post on Instagram, try to tag where you're getting your hair done. Like, make a little video while you're getting a facial, getting your nails done. Like, it's easy, and you get more exposure to their people too. Okay, this next topic is specifically to content and engagement, and I asked all the panelists to send me one of their favorite social media posts that either went viral or generated leads for them. So I'm gonna show them one at a time, and then I want you guys to kind of share why you picked this, what it did for you, etc. So I think first is Tommy.
I'm glad I didn't wear that suit. Embarrassed.
Sorry, one sec.
Didn't have a strawberry whipped cream cake from Let's Bakery. I hate to say it, but your childhood might need a do-over. This old school spot at Montrose Brewery Park, it's not trendy, it's not curated for Instagram, but what it is iconic. My family's been coming here since I was a kid. Every birthday, every graduation, or just when Harmony and Harabaji wanted it. And always for the same thing. Strawberry whipped cream cake. It's a soft sponge, light cloud-like whipped cream, juicy strawberries, I have no notes, just pure perfection. And it's not just a cake. Lutz is stacked with old bro pastries, torts, cookies, chocolate dip, everything. The kind of display case that makes you question your self-control and home. And the OGs know about that box sign machine. That click-clack snap when they wrap your cake up in string. That's the sound of tradition, the sound of childhood, the sound of don't drop the box before you get to the car. Lutz doesn't need to reinvent itself. It's been doing it right for decades. One bite of that cake and you're 10 years old again. 2 bites and you're fighting for the biggest strawberry. And 3 bites, you're texting your mom asking why this is part of there. See, this isn't just a baker. It's a Chicago time capsule. And it tastes like home.
All right, Tommy.
Jules. This one I'll say, oh wow, thank you.
Create a spread.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? So this is not like I think this one only got like 60,000 views, okay?
There was 2,500 likes. Don't downplay.
But the engagement was wild. Now here's what I'll share with you. For me, and I'll talk about this later, I think, but you need to have like what I call like a listener's promise, an audience promise. What is your follower, your audience that will get the notification when new content comes out? What is your promise to them that they're going to want to watch that piece of content, right? So storytelling is a big piece of that. And so for me, it's around making Chicago home, whether that's helping you figure out where to live, how to live, but also where to eat and what to do so Chicago feels like home, they build community. So when I do these restaurant highlights, the storytelling is, that's very kind of you to say that about the copyright. The storytelling is important because so many people, because of like Dave Portnoy, they want to rate restaurants and foods, right? And I think it's such a subjective thing. And then that limits yourself because like you don't want to come off as hater and then you can be whatever. Yeah. For me, I go to places I love to put you on game, but tell the story of what this place means to me. Now, why I shared this one with Savannah is because the engagement of people that commented and saying like, oh my gosh, my wedding cake was from there. Like my grandma would always bring me a cake from there every time I graduate or school went out. Everyone was sharing their stories of what this specifically strawberry cake meant to them. I slid into it. You always want to slide into the DMs on all these people. You always want to engage, by the way. You can't post and ghost. You have to engage because that fires the algorithms up. But I don't, when I engage with them, I slide into DMs, I always like thank them like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for your kind words. Just out of curiosity, what did you like about specifically that video? And they'll share deeper stories specific than that one. You always go back and forth, right, on like hope-ended questions, but eventually I lead it back to like, oh, did you live nearby this? And they'll tell me, that's my always lead in when it starts to come into business out there, like, oh, do you live by this restaurant? And people, 80% of the people were like, oh my gosh, I wish I moved to California, blah, blah, blah. But then they would be like, but my family still lives there, they have this 2-flat, I see you're in real estate, and that's where the reverse Uno card comes, because it tells me that they just literally stalked my page to figure out who I am, and this led to, and then I read the same thing. I use ManyChat and optimize it with Jockdoor to get an intake form, and then give some sort of, you want to give what they call like a lead magnet, some sort of like freebie educational takeaway, and that has led to, we got, I don't know, it's probably like 20 or 30 listing appointments, and specifically because around that neighborhood growing up, there were never single-family homes. It was a lot of 2-flat, 3-flats because there's a lot of rippers building generational wealth behind this. Hey, was David lived there, so they still hung out properties, and so now they're on 3rd generation where these kids like kind of want to be a landowner. So it's a great opportunity where you can tell your story around something and people connect to it, and I use that engagement as, hey, you have something in common, the real estate piece came through. So that was the reason why I shared this one.
Yes, awesome. Thank you. Next, Daisy. Oh, sorry. I don't think there's any dialogue.
Be that, yeah, sorry.
You don't need the mute.
So this is actually a really good example compared to Tommy's, because Tommy probably put a lot of thoughts, like he sensitive. Where for me, this is a video where I'm like, shoot, I need to post something. I haven't posted something in like a few weeks, and I need to post something that is gonna get a lot of viewers' attention. So what Tommy did with his video is that he gave people the value, like the information that they were looking for through a voiceover. What I did is I posted just a quick 8-second video, which remember, the algorithm will push your videos the more they see that people are watching your videos from start to finish. So a really quick and like strategic way of doing that is posting like 8-second videos. Because what will happen is while someone is looking at your video and reading the caption, that video will continue to play and play. And to the algorithm, that seems like, wow, this is a really great video that everyone wants to see from start to finish. So what I did is where I provided my value was in the caption. So I just did a really good hook on screen that gets people to like want to see what the video is about or like want to know more information about the neighborhood. And then in the video, in the caption, that's where I like provided the value, the information that they were looking for. And you scroll down.
Yeah.
Wow. You guys, I did this from ChatGPT. Like, I did not have time to like really be intentional about this video. So then what I did at the bottom is, so that's where I did my call to action. If you're thinking about moving to Chicago, comment guide, and I'll send you the guide. So I created this another automated system through ManyCat. So when people, you can keep scrolling down, when people comment guide, it automatically gives them a reply, which once again is boosting.
If you can afford it.
You want the trolls are good. That's when you know, like that just like tells me that I need it. People are commenting, and then that's my way of getting their information, and that's when they go into my automated emails, and I eventually convert them into a client.
This is a great example of a great visual hook.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like polarizing because people are so proud of the neighborhood. So like, when you get haters, that means you're reaching beyond your database or your followers. So that's a great one because that stops it. Yeah. Can I share one
Please.
good hack you could do now? And I did this on the video to what Daisy said. The longer you can get someone to watch, the more it'll push out and put it onto like the Explorer page or like the Reels tab. And that's where you get complete strangers looking at it. Another good hack. I don't know if some of you know this, but if you just hold on the side of the screen now, it fast forwards videos. So a lot of the times, like I just did one and same thing. I was kind of like, I'm lazy. I got to post something. And I was just in Park City doing the mountain coaster. I'm like, this video is so long, but I put a little circle and an arrow saying push here to make it go faster. And it's a hack because then people do it and they're getting through the video way further. So then that pushed it out even more so. And I'm doing that to just drive traffic back to my page to look at my other stuff, right? So doing like, when you don't have something to like, you're like, I don't have time to like write like this like documentary post. Just do like a B-roll post like what Daisy did because it's a great way to like extend your audience and get more engagement.
I also want to say on that point, I think, I know some people might not be social media like users in this room, but for me, I learned so much from like actually being a user, like scrolling on Instagram, like interacting, like even that hack Tommy said, like if you're not actually using social media and you're just like putting content, not knowing if it's trendy or if it's gonna go well, like you might get stuck. So just watch your peers and like learn from what other people are doing and make it your own too. Okay, last one will be Stephanie's.
Okay, so let me say, this is an example of a story that created a significant amount of engagement.
I don't know if you can hear it.
Somewhat. So telling you guys, I just love to show me. The house is completely pitch black. I'm talking like not even a little light like black, okay? So I'm turning out the lights, make my way around, living room, kitchen, first bedroom, second bedroom. I get to the third bedroom. Like, I'm in there for a little while by this time. And I look, and there's this woman sitting in this high-neck chair staring at me in his face because I'm totally caught off guard. Like, I just assumed no one was home because no one usually is home. And also, what did you greet me at the door and they like, oh, hey, I'm here. Be there, pile. Big here.
Make sure.
So why I actually shared something different with Savannah initially, and then I went back and
I was
said,
like, did I put the wrong
you know
one
what?
there?"
I'd like you to actually share this one. Because this stupid story provided me with 52 DMs. 52 DMs. 52 points of conversation with people. Some past clients, some friends, some, family members. 52. And I started to get overwhelmed because I just kind of did it in the moment. Literally, I didn't rehearse it. My lips looked dry. I mean, it's like, I just did it because I was like genuinely shook, right? So I'm like, oh my God, like people really like this story, right? So I get home that night, I catch up on everything else, and I start going through and having like really, not just hitting my heart on thank you, I start replying to people. And then they're like going fast. So I'm like, I better space these out a little bit because like people are wanting to talk to me right now. And long story short, it provided me with an opportunity to interact with someone that I hadn't interacted with, all that recently, and resulted in this email in my inbox the next day. This is an actual email. And I'm telling you guys, had we not had that back and forth about something ridiculous, was the house haunted? And the reason why I think that this is important is because this is something anyone in this room could do. You don't have to know about the algorithms. You don't have to know about all this other stuff. You could do this and you could have 52 or some number of points of conversation, rich conversation, stuff that's still going on probably right now. And I was really proud of that. It's like not overthinking it, just going for it and creating these points of contact and connection.
Can I add something to that?
Please.
Because the best place to sell is in the stories, okay? And I'll tell you, when you can, I always tell people like, I don't want to see POV. You're not like a streamer. I don't want to see you. I'm playing Fortnite, right? Go selfie style. I want to see your face. Every morning consistently, just say what you're doing today. You might think it's boring, like, oh, I'm going to an inspection, blah, blah, blah. But what that's equivalent to is if you're a store on Michigan Avenue, you actually having a sign on your door that says open for business.
Yeah.
People follow you. They might not engage with you, but I promise you the lurkers are watching. And consistently, if every morning at 8 a.m. you're just making coffee and you're saying what you're doing, people are that muscle memory is gonna hit, and that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna get emails like this later on because people just know, like, damn, Stephanie is hustling right now, right? So being consistent is literally like flipping that open sign, and the stories are the best place. And if you want to even go another level on that story, let's say I'm gonna say, hey, I got an inspection in a high rise. I might put a poll on that story saying, would you ever live in a high rise? Yes or no. And you might get people that are going to engage and write yes. They're literally raising their hand saying, like, I want to talk to you. And I'll direct message them and be like, where do you live now? What don't you like about high rise if they say no, right? It's just another way to engage and be able to sell. And it only lives there for 24 hours, right? So it's just a great way to utilize the stories. That's a great way to do that.
And I think that that's a really great point. Also, even someone that's just responding to your story with a simple reaction, I dive into those too. The laugh, the anger, the happy. I dive into that, and it's like, thanks so much for your support. How's your summer been? Or good to hear from you.
It's that reverse Uno card.
It's the reverse Uno, and it can be tiring and maybe a lot of energy when you don't feel like it. But again, it's all these points of care and connection. And make sure it's genuine too, right? Like you don't want to be just communicating the same template to everyone, otherwise why do it?
Totally.
But I really feel like despite your following and despite where you are in your business or despite your specialty,
you have all of that right in front of you if you take the time to pause and figure out how to actually nurture it to take that to the next level.
I feel like the bad guy cutting off a conversation that's just getting started, in my opinion. But I think that instead of having you guys ask questions from your seats, maybe we ask them in line for tacos. So can we all just give them a huge round of applause? Thank you so much, Arizona. Thank you. Yeah.